Nobody embodies the Barcelona way more than Xavi. An A+ student under Pep Guardiola, it's no wonder he's followed in his footsteps after retirement. But things haven't been that smooth, and he's been on the brink of being sacked multiple times. So how did Xavi bounce back and turn Barcelona into the best team in Spain? On the 6th of November 2021, Xavi was appointed as Barcelona's manager. The legend of the club and one of the most influential players of his generation had returned. He immediately implemented the return of strict rules on players, which included a collection of fines for being late, arriving 90 minutes early for training, and even keeping tabs of his players' off-pitch activities and diet. The discipline did bring about the best in the Barca players though, as they went on a long unbeaten run, culminating in that spectacular 4-0 win at the Santiago Bernabeu in Xavi's first Clásico. The campaign, however, ended with a quarter-final exit in the Europa League and an underwhelming second-place finish in the league. Although this was a significant improvement from the 9th place they were in when Xavi took charge, providing lots of hope for the future. Beneath the surface though, Barcelona were at a financial loss of 161 million euros over the last 12 months, which contributed to the desperate situation inherited by Joan Laporta from previous president Josep Maria Bartomeu. Hence, financial levers were planned as the club borrowed from their long-term future to rescue its immediate crisis. That summer, the club sold 2 different sets of future TV rights to US financier Sixth Street and a share of the club's Barca studio arm to crypto firm Socios.com, raising 767 million euros in total. This series of truly astonishing asset sales provided more income to pay off Barca's debts as they underwent a huge overhaul to build a new identity, with a handful of big-name signings including Robert Lewandowski, Jules Koundé and Rafinha. The drama was not over just yet, as Lewandowski and Rafinha could only be registered to play after a 4th lever was secured 24 hours before the opening game of the season. Koundé was registered after La Liga had already started. This huge gamble on the club's future earnings was made in the hope they would bring instant success. Barca's season got off to a shaky start, to say the least. A goalless draw against Rayo Vallecano at Camp Nou after all those attacking signings, and with the next generation Pep Guardiola in the dugout, Barca fans, as expected, were upset. It didn't take long for the pendulum to swing all the way in the other direction, as Barca went on to beat Real Sociedad 4-1 away. Robert Lewandowski scored twice, with the other 2 goals coming from Ousmane Dembele and Ansu Fati. They go on to beat Real Valladolid 4-0, Sevilla 3-0, Victoria Pilsen 5-1, and Cadiz 4-0. There was plenty of reason for Barca fans to be excited about, if they blocked out the 3-3 draw against Man City at the Camp Nou and the 2-0 defeat against Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Barca were back to winning ways with a 3-0 victory against Elche and achieving their best league start in the last 5 years, earning 16 points out of a possible 18 from their first 6 matches. Robert Lewandowski scored a brace and another goal came from Memphis Depay. The attack was on fire, and this was a theme throughout the season. Xavi placed a great importance on maintaining the team's width on both flanks, from wingers Ousmane Dembele and Rafinha on the right flank, and marauding left banks Alejandro Balde and Jordi Alba pushing up high on the left. Meanwhile, the central areas were overloaded in a bid to constrict their opponents into losing the ball and then hitting them with quick counterattacks. To do this, a 4th central midfielder, in most cases Xavi, occupies the left side of the attack, and he alternates positions with fellow Golden Boy Award winner Pedri, whose 6 goals have won an astounding 10 points for Barcelona this season. The dynamic duo are joined by Sergio Busquets and Frankie de Jong to safeguard absolute control in the middle of the pitch. With that ridiculous amount of technical ability, it's not a surprise that the Camp Nou boys averaged the highest possession in La Liga this season. The team got their 7th league win in a row on the 9th of October after winning 1-0 against Celta Vigo, with the only goal of the match coming from Pedri. A narrow defeat and a draw against Inter in the Champions League all but sealed their exit from that competition though. Despite his success in the league, Xavi's failure in the Champions League brought a fresh round of speculation about his future, but the club held fast. Following the mid-season break and a 1-1 draw in the Barcelona derby, they clinched their first trophy since 2021 by crushing Real Madrid 3-1 in the Supercopa de España final. This was sweet revenge after Madrid handed Barca their first loss in the league earlier in the season. Barcelona did exit European football altogether not long after this though, as they lost to Manchester United 4-3 on aggregate. This did allow them to place greater focus on the league though. Barcelona defeated Valencia 1-0, getting their 20th win of the season in La Liga, before beating Athletic Bilbao 1-0 away, with Rafinha scoring the only goal in both matches. These wins helped keep their 9-point lead at the top of the table, ahead of the Clásico. This was Barcelona's 19th clean sheet in the league, in which they only conceded 8 goals in 25 matches, breaking the record for fewest goals conceded after 25 games, held jointly by Deportivo La Coruña in the 1993-94 season and Atletico Madrid in the 1990-91 season, both teams conceding 10 goals in 25 games. Interestingly, fans hoping to see the football you generally expect from a Guardiola disciple were shocked that Xavi has implemented a curiously pragmatic approach this season. The hallmarks of Xavi's current team are set on their incredible defensive solidity alongside their trademark dominance of the ball, meaning they simply spend less time defending. Barca have recovered the urgency to regain possession as soon as they've lost it, and the effectiveness of their aggressive counter-press translates to the third most tackles in the final third this season, despite spending very little time without the ball. Meanwhile, the few times opponents were able to get behind their midfield, they were unfortunate to meet a rejuvenated back line, consisting of an ever-improving Ronald Araujo alongside Andreas Christensen in the middle, with Jules Koundé performing an inverted fullback role to give Balde a license to bomb forward. The Frenchman stepped in amidst the absence of a natural right back to give the side greater balance when the shape shifts from a 4-3-3 to a 3-2-2-3 in possession. Add to that the fact that Marc-Andre ter Stegen has also emerged as arguably the best player in the league, with his passing, shot stopping and sweeping proving awfully vital in their title charge. Those fierce defensive efforts and marginal gains have seen Barca win 11 matches with a scoreline of 1-0, which is the highest total in a season. Barcelona would go on to defeat Real Madrid 2-1 in El Clásico. This win put the team 12 points in front at the top of the table, with Barcelona's 100th competitive Clásico win and third consecutive win against Real Madrid across all competitions. After the international break, the team continued where they left off, winning against Elche 4-0 away on the first day of the month. Robert Lewandowski scored a brace, while Ansu Fati and Ferran Torres scored 1 goal each. April saw the return of disappointment though, as they suffered a 4-0 home loss against Real Madrid in the return leg of the Copa del Rey semi-finals. The scoreline marked the first time that Madrid has scored at least 4 goals against Barcelona in any competition since a 4-1 La Liga victory in May 2008, and for the first time at Camp Nou since a 5-1 league win in January 1963. The team then got held to a goalless draw against Girona at home, before settling for another scoreless draw, this time against Getafe away. On the 23rd of April, Barcelona took a narrow 1-0 victory against Atletico Madrid, with the only goal of the match coming from Ferran Torres at the end of the first half. Marc-Andre ter Stegen equaled the club record for the most clean sheets in the league season, previously achieved by Claudio Bravo in the 2014-15 season. On the 26th of April, Barcelona suffered their third defeat of the season, losing against Rayo Vallecano 2-1 away. Robert Lewandowski scored the only goal for the team. Despite the loss, Leo was showing his importance to the team. The presence of a world-class centre forward like Lewandowski up front gave Barcelona a focal point and another dimension as he caused the opposition serious problems. The prolific striker needed little time to adapt to his new surroundings by scoring 13 goals in his first 12 La Liga games, the most of any new signing in Barcelona's rich history. The Pole is now on his way to winning the top scorer award after a successful individual campaign. On the 24th of May, Barcelona won their 27th La Liga title, and the first since the 2018-19 season, after they beat Espanyol 4-2 away. It was vindication for Xavi, who had come under a lot of heat at various points throughout the season, but delivered 2 major pieces of silverware. He did so in somewhat unconventional Barcelona style, leaning on his defense, something not many Barca fans would have expected when he was first appointed. There is plenty of reason for optimism, given the clearly defined process that has been established by Xavi, which players are buying into. Indeed, the manager had to do a lot of man management to get his squad dynamics in order. However, his success at a high level this early on in his career does bode well. He still has a lot to prove to have a claim amongst the elite of the elite managers in world football, but this season he has shown that he might have what it takes to get there someday.
Say bye bye yo, bye bye yo.